Hi class, today's lesson is lesson 2-6. It's on subtracting equations. Today's purpose is to solve whole number subtraction problems algebraically. Much like the lesson before in 2-5, we're now going to take subtraction rather than addition equations and solve for the variable. There is no vocabulary for today, so let's go ahead and go to that first example. Now, as I explain this next example, I don't want you necessarily to start writing. In fact, I'm going to show you what this is on the scale here. It says solve each equation, check your answers. Here I have p minus 2 equals 5. If we think about this as a scale, we put the equal sign here, everything is balanced. We have p minus 2 on one side and 5 on the other. Once again, I don't want you to copy this down. In order to isolate the variable, in order to find out what p is, the value of p, we need to isolate it. We need to get it by itself on this side. In order to isolate it, we have to get rid of this minus 2. How do we get rid of it? Well, we undo the minus 2. No, that rhymes. We need to find the inverse operation of subtraction, which is addition. So we're going to add 2. Now we do it to both sides so they'll be in balance. If we only do it to one side, if we add 2 to this side, it'll make this side heavier. We need to do it to both sides. And when we do that, the plus 2 minus 2 goes away. 2 minus 2 is 0. That leaves us with a p equals 5 plus 7. Well, what's 5 plus 7? 5 plus 7 is 12. So in the end, we're going to see a 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and clear these annotations, and now is the time when I really want you to go ahead and copy. It's p minus 2 equals 5. We're going to go ahead and start with drawing our own scale underneath here and placing the fulcrum. That right there will be underneath the equation sign, just like in the addition problems we did the other day. Here we have a p minus 2 equals 5. We need to isolate the variable. We need to get the p by itself in order to find out what it is. In order to get it by itself on that side, we have to get rid of the minus 2. To get rid of the minus 2, we have to find the inverse operation of minus 2, which is plus 2. I'm going to write plus 2 on this side. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Just like a scale, we have to keep it in balance. Plus 2 minus 2 goes away because 2 minus 2 is 0, and p plus 0 or p minus 0 is just a plain p. Then we have 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. There's our answer. P equals 7. Now I know you could solve this problem easily just mentally, but again, we're learning the algebra. It's not as important to know the answer to this as to get to the answer using algebra. Next problem, same thing. This time we find the variable on the other side, and that's okay. We're just going to draw that same scale, put the fulcrum underneath the equal sign, and we need to isolate the variable, get x all by itself. How do we get rid of this minus 11 then? Well, the inverse operation tells us we add 11. If we add 11 to this side of the scale, we need to add 11 to the other side of the scale in order to keep it balanced. 11 minus 11 is 0, so the x drops down. Notice how I'm keeping the equal sign roughly on top of each other. And then I have to just contend with the 40 plus 11. 40 plus 11 is 51. So the value of x is 51. Now, if you wanted to flip that around and say x equals 51, that'd be okay as well. But this is fine. That's a simplified version. Here we have yet another problem. Once again, we draw the scale underneath it. We know we need to get x all by itself. In order to get by itself, we need to get rid of the subtract 56. In order to get rid of the subtract 56, we need to take the inverse operation, which is add 56. Now we can't do that just to one side. We need to do it to both sides. Plus 56 to both sides. 56 minus 56 is 0. That means all that's left on this side is an x equals, and 19 plus 56 It's going to be 75. 75. All right. Make this. What a perfect oval. Next, we're going to move to, well, actually, to complete the problem. Boy, this is a short video. I need you to show your work algebraically. I need you to show it step by step. First thing I want you to do, of course, is recognize that you need to isolate the variable. Then, once you recognize that, you need to take the inverse operation. And then what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So you're going to do to both sides. Okay, those are the things that you need to think about as you do these two problems. N minus 42 equals 56, and 102 equals D minus 75. We'll see you in class.